Welcome to the deep dive. You, the learner, sent us, well, a whole stack of sources on a really critical topic, cybersecurity in 2026. It's moving incredibly fast.
It really is.
So we're here to give you that shortcut, turning all this complex threat analysis into something practical, something you can actually remember and use. Our mission today, really, is to unpack how AI, artificial intelligence, has just fundamentally broken the old cybersecurity model.
Yeah, the old ways just don't cut it anymore.
Exactly. We're moving from slow defensive reactions
Waiting for something bad to happen.
to proactive prediction, actually neutralizing threats before they hit.
That's the goal.
Now, before we really dive into the mechanics of this digital arms race, we should mention this deep dive is brought to you by AI Opportune.
That's right. And at AI Opportune, we're really focused on being that place where, bold ideas meet actual practical innovation.
Right.
We specialize in cutting through the noise, finding the emerging tech that genuinely works.
Which is rare sometimes.
It can be. And we turn it into usable tools, frameworks, things for founders, for creatives, really any curious mind who's ready to build what's next. It's all about smart workflows and actionable startup strategies.
So if you need that kind of strategic edge, definitely subscribe to the AI Opportune newsletter. It's like your weekly ticket to staying ahead on AI.
Delivered right to your inbox. Yeah.
You can quite literally stay ahead of the curve. Okay, so let's set the stage. One source had this staggering figure. A major cyber attack hit somewhere every 32 seconds.
32 seconds. It's almost unbelievable.
That's the reality now.
Yeah.
And these attacks, they're faster, much stealthier, and way more complex than, even just 5 years ago.
And what's really key here, I think, is that the sheer speed, the velocity of these threats has completely broken the traditional security model.
How so?
Well, legacy tools, the old antivirus and firewalls, they were designed to look for known signatures, like a fingerprint, right?
Yeah.
They had to wait until an attack was already out there, cataloged, named, identified. Then they could maybe block it.
So they were always reactive.
Always playing catch-up. Permanently. Trying to defend against threats that are evolving faster than anyone can possibly write a security patch. The model's just fundamentally flawed now.
Okay, so if speed's the core problem, then AI flips the script. It becomes, like you said, the firewall of the future. Because it stops just looking for those known fingerprints.
Right.
And starts looking for anything that deviates from the norm. Is that it?
Exactly. AI's real power here isn't in defining known bad things. It's in pattern recognition on a massive scale.
Okay.
It analyzes billions, literally billions of behavioral patterns. What's normal network traffic look like? What's a normal user login pattern? What's normal file activity?
Gotcha.
And then it flags these subtle anomalies, these tiny deviations, in real time. And this capability, well, it gives us 4 absolutely mission-critical advantages that really define security in 2026.
Okay, let's break those down. Let's start with the big one, maybe, because this sounds like the ultimate preemptive move, dealing with zero-day exploits.
Yeah, 0 days are, they're the holy grail for attackers, aren't they? It's a vulnerability that nobody knows about, not even the software maker.
0 days since discovery, hence the name.
Exactly. So traditional security, no chance. It has no signature to look for. But AI isn't looking for a signature. It's looking for anomalous behavior.
Like what kind of behavior?
Well, maybe a weird request for higher privileges than usual, or encryption suddenly starting in an odd part of the system, or data moving where it shouldn't. AI spots that weirdness and can neutralize the threat before the attacker even gets to fully use that unknown vulnerability. It's basically anticipating the unknown based on suspicious actions.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah.
Okay, advantage 2, scale. You mentioned billions of data points, human security teams drown in alerts. How does AI handle this volume without just creating, AI alert fatigue?
That's a really good question because, yeah, if AI just spat out endless alerts, we'd just be trading one kind of fatigue for another. But the key is machine learning applying context to that scale. Yes, it analyzes billions of logs in milliseconds, but crucially, it learns to prioritize and filter.
How does it learn that?
It learns what's just a weird but harmless blip versus something genuinely dangerous. It uses context like, user history, the location they're logging in from, the type of device, what data they're trying to access. And it surfaces only the really high-risk events that actually need a human to look at them.
So it's like finding the needle in the haystack by automatically throwing away most of the hay because it doesn't look like a needle in this specific context.
Precisely. Well put. And that leads right into the third advantage, automation.
Makes sense.
By automating that filtering and even the initial response, like, say, automatically isolating a device that looks compromised.
Right, quarantining it.
Exactly. You free up the human security teams. They're not buried under thousands of minor low-level alerts anymore.
So they can focus on
strategy, planning, investigating those really complex, nuanced threats that require human intuition and broader context.
Okay, and the fourth advantage. You mentioned this is crucial now with remote and hybrid work. Securing the workforce with intelligent access control. What makes it intelligent? Isn't that just multi-factor authentication, MFA?
Well, standard MFA is pretty static, isn't it? You put in your password, you get a code on your phone, you type it in, you're in. Done.
Yeah.
Intelligent access control, usually powered by AI, is dynamic. It's continuously monitoring the situation.
Okay.
It's checking things like, is the device healthy? Up to date? Is the location consistent with where the user normally is? What time is it? What specific data are they trying to access right now?
Oh.
So if suddenly you try to access the main finance server from, I don't know, a new IP address in a country you've never been to at 3 a.m. on a device that missed its last security scan.
The AI flags that whole context.
Well, right. It dynamically limits your access, maybe blocks just that sensitive data access, or locks the account entirely pending review. It's security defined by ongoing context, not just a single password and code check at the door.
Okay, this is where it gets really concrete, seeing in practice.
Yeah.
Our sources mentioned platforms like Darktrace, Vectra AI, CrowdStrike Falcon. How are they fundamentally different from, say, the antivirus I might have had 10 years ago?
The core difference is that shift from being signature-based to being behavior-based. Legacy software was purely reactive. It waited for a known threat signature.
Right.
These new AI platforms, they're constantly learning what's normal behavior for every single user, every single device on the network, continuously building that baseline.
So they're looking for intent,
Yeah.
almost, or signs of malicious intent.
Exactly. They don't need to wait for specific known malware. They detect the suspicious activity itself.
We actually have a really potent anecdote here. One source detailed how Darktrace's AI stopped a ransomware attack dead in its tracks at a European law firm.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that one. What happened?
It spotted abnormal file encryption activity just seconds after the malicious process kicked off. Seconds.
And that speed, that's everything. The difference between detecting in seconds versus, say, minutes or hours.
It's huge.
It's the difference between a contained incident, maybe one machine needing a wipe, versus a network-wide catastrophe. Imagine that law firm. Client data, legal documents locked up for days or weeks. The cost, the reputation.
Unthinkable.
Immediate detection allows immediate containment. It stops the blast radius from growing.
That kind of time saving, that speed, brings us neatly to the sort of next evolution here, the full shift towards predictive defense.
Right, not just reacting fast, but actually getting ahead.
Yeah, moving beyond just spotting abnormalities in real time to actively anticipating vulnerabilities before they're even targeted.
Yeah.
We're talking tools like Silence, Fortinet FortiAI, AI, Microsoft Security Copilot.
These platforms are really leaning into predictive analytics. They crunch just massive data sets, historical attack patterns, global threat intelligence feeds, vulnerability reports, and they essentially run simulations, like what-if scenarios, against the organization's current setup to pinpoint weak spots before an attacker finds them.
Okay, and critically, sources say these systems can even spot insider threats. Those are notoriously hard to catch because the person often have legitimate access. How can an algorithm predict malice?
Well, it's not quite predicting malice or intent directly. That's still very human.
Okay.
Instead, it flags behavior that statistically precedes a compromise or an insider attack. It looks for subtle shifts.
Like what?
Maybe an account that's usually quiet suddenly starts downloading huge amounts of data, or accessing files they haven't looked at in years, or logging in through unusual methods or at odd times.
Things that individually might be nothing.
Exactly. Individually may be explainable, but the AI sees the combination, the pattern, and flags it as a high-risk profile. This allows the system or a human analyst to prioritize investigating that specific account. Maybe automatically apply stricter controls, isolate it before the person acts, maybe even before they realize they've tripped an alarm.
The evidence for this whole shift, it's really in the numbers, isn't it? This isn't just hype. The sources show some pretty compelling results.
Yeah, the metrics are starting to speak for themselves.
Okay, first, efficiency. A Capgemini study from 2025 found AI-enabled security/breach detection times by, get this, 96%.
96%. That's basically going from days or weeks down to minutes or seconds, almost instant awareness.
And that speed translates directly to money saved, right?
Absolutely. IBM's 2025 report showed AI directly reduced the average cost of a data breach by $2.1 million per incident.
Wow.
Because the less time an attacker has inside, the less damage they can do, the lower the recovery costs, the regulatory fines, the reputation hit, it all shrinks.
And the industry itself is voting with its feet, it seems. Gartner's projecting that by late 2026, over 65% of all threat detection and response tools will have AI as their core engine.
The investment is clearly following the results. The metrics demand that speed and prediction.
So, okay, if AI is this fast, this scalable, this predictive, it does raise that critical question, doesn't it?
Yeah. Does it make the humans obsolete?
Yeah, exactly. Can we just fire all the security analysts? Is this like a self-driving security car now? Why do we need a human in the loop if the AI is stopping 0 days and predicting attacks?
It's a tempting thought, maybe for some CFOs.
Maybe.
But no. Even the most sophisticated AI just cannot replace human judgment, especially when the stakes are high or there are ethical complexities involved.
Why not, if it's spotting the threat?
Because AI analyses data points, ones and zeros, patterns. It can't fully grasp the political landscape, the legal nuances, the ethical weight behind those data points. It lacks true context.
Okay, so what are those indispensable human roles then? The things AI still can't touch? You mentioned maybe 3.
Yeah, broadly speaking. First, humans are absolutely essential for validating complex threat signals. AI flags something as high risk, technically correct based on the data, but a human analyst, maybe someone who knows the teams, needs to investigate the context. Did that user just switch projects? Is there a legitimate reason they're accessing that unusual data? Is it part of a sanctioned test? That requires nuanced, cross-departmental knowledge AI just doesn't have.
Right, the why behind the what. Okay, second.
Second relates to that legal and ethical responsibility. Humans have to be the ones making the final call on things involving privacy, governance, regulatory compliance.
Oh, no.
The AI might recommend instantly isolating a user's account based purely on risk score, but the human team has to weigh that against, say, employment law or GDPR or APA rules. Is the action proportionate? What are the legal implications? The AI provides data, the human takes responsibility for the action.
That makes sense. And the third role?
It's about investigating those really tricky, fragmented behaviors that cross different systems or departments, and crucially, about training and collaboration. The sources are really clear on this. The most resilient organizations have hybrid security teams.
Humans plus AI.
Exactly. They're training their analysts not to fear AI, but to collaborate with it, to see it as a powerful tool, a force multiplier that enhances their own intelligence, rather than a replacement. Knowing how to effectively work with AI is becoming a real competitive advantage in building robust defenses.
So the ultimate takeaway seems pretty clear then. In cybersecurity today, speed is basically survival.
It really is.
And AI is the key technology unlocking that necessary speed and increasingly that predictive edge.
And the urgency here, it just can't be overstated. We know attackers are already using AI to sharpen their own tools, make their attacks faster, stealthier. Defense absolutely has to keep pace. This isn't future tech anymore. It needs adoption now.
Which leads to a final, maybe provocative thought for you, the listener, to mull over as we head towards 2026. If attacks are hitting every 32 seconds and AI-powered attack tools are only getting smarter, how does that force us to redefine what we even consider critical infrastructure?
Good question.
When potentially everything, from your personal health data to the national power grid, is vulnerable all the time, what does critical even mean then?
Getting a handle on that, gaining the insight to anticipate and respond to these huge shifts, well, that's exactly what AI Opportune is built for.
Right.
You can follow the platform, subscribe, and stay ahead with genuinely proven AI tools, practical frameworks, real case studies from people actually doing this work on the front lines.
And if you subscribe to AI Opportune, you'll catch upcoming deep dives that build right on this conversation. Things like the best AI-powered cybersecurity platforms for 2026, practical guides on how to train your security team for AI collaboration.
And we'll also be digging into that crucial balance, privacy versus protection, navigating the ethics of AI and cyber defense. Look, forget the hype cycle. AI Opportune focuses on the AI that actually works in the real world, and honestly, we feel like we're only just warming up.